Hey, all right. So now we're on to the next day here. I got a lot of work done yesterday. So we've got pretty much almost the entire framework finished, as well as bringing out, if you remember this, from my old do-it-yourself chicken coop build way back when we started at the rental house. And this was the gate that we had for the chicken run. So, I'm glad I kept it. I'm glad I moved it here because I'm finally able to reuse it. I had to modify it a bit just to close up because I'd left a fairly large gap above the gate. I don't even remember why at the time. Maybe it just due to that's what I had the materials to do. That might be why it was so short rather than fully closing, but I don't entirely remember. It was a while ago now. So anyway, able to use that and close up the top because we want the chickens to stay completely in here. And now I've got to frame in to make a new gate. So I've got the basic frame set up there. I've just got to do the other side stud here, and kind of finish in the framing for the meshes. And then I'm not going to put the gate in right away just because I don't have the hinges or anything right at this moment. So I'm going to have to sort that out before I can actually build a working gate there. But I can at least frame it in and get the mesh going, so at least the chickens will be enclosed and we can make progress on that. So just gotta cut that stud and properly put it in here. And then I guess we'll get started on stapling in some chicken wire. All right. So Caroline's decided to take the kids out to the store and pick up some supplies, including some hinges, which I don't have for the gate. So I'm going to stay here and I'm going to see if I can put together a gate and get ready for that, and then start putting the mesh up. So I'm going to keep going. Hey, so next day here, I realized as I was getting towards the end yesterday, putting this up, that one of the problems with doing all this work yourself is you don't always notice everything, even though you know it's there. There's some holes right in the corner of the mesh here, right near the wall, that had been in there from when it was down below. I think probably the goats or something punched the holes in it at some point in their, evil escapades. So yeah, I knew they were there, but I didn't really pay attention when I started putting the mesh up. I just wanted to get the mesh up. And so now I'm like, oh, I gotta pull that little, like, that's why I stopped when I stopped, honestly. That and, yeah, just diabetic low blood sugars and stuff like that, and, kids getting home and everything, time for dinner. So, I stopped there, and so I don't have too many staples to pull out, but I have enough. So I gotta pull that down and cut it. And just as I'm, at this kind of midpoint of the day here, So I'm just going to change my go. I'm going to start with the lower half. Like I've got the nice brand new roll of 3 foot to kind of match up along the bars there, because they are at 3 feet. So I will do that along the bottom to at least keep the goats out of the way, get that controlled. But before I do that, I just want to finish up the gate. I've got the hinges now, so I can get that hung up, figure out where I need the crossbar, and mesh it and get the bar on and everything like that, so it looks neat and uniform, as opposed to, you know, this old gate here that yeah, is nowhere near what the new one I've made is. So, you know, it's like you can see my progression as I go here. So anyway, I'm going to finish up that gate here. I'm just going to quickly hang it, mark where I need to put the bar in, and then yeah, get some mesh on it and get it hung and done, and then start with the mesh along the bottom here and see where I get to. So we'll just keep moving as I can. All right, so all the screws are in, it's hung. Looks like it's got space all the way around. So, take out my spacer. And it swings beautifully and doesn't catch, which is exactly what I wanted. All right, so now it's just a matter of because I want to have a crossbar that continues across here. Will help stiffen the frame of the gate and make it a little bit sturdier, as well as just continue kind of the visual aesthetic. And yeah, so I'm going to just mark out where I want that, and then I'll cut it and put it on. And we'll get some mesh on this bad boy and get it up in its permanent position. I'm trying to record here. Now she's starting friends in on it too. Alright, so that's the gate fixed up and most of the lower portion netted in. So I just have this last little bit to do, and I think I'll tackle that tomorrow and start getting the mesh on the upper parts done. Now I don't have any more, you know, woodworking to do for this portion. That'll make it a lot easier, and then tomorrow night we can get the chickens in on this side. And then I can start, you know, shifting around all the hardware for chicken support once that's done, and once they're kind of trapped in here, because then it'll be a little less disruptive to them for that night, because they're, you know, their main roosts and everything are going to be down there, and they're also not going to have access to all the fences, because most of the new chickens, the 16, all the juveniles, such as these guys right here, they don't tend to roost with the older chickens. They tend to stick it out on the fences still. So we'll get them all in with limited roost space. So I'll be taking this stuff blocking the food and stuff from the goats. That'll be coming out too once the goats can't get in there. So I'm happy with the progress, and yeah, it could be going faster, but I'm only one man, so that's what I can get done today. That's what I can get done today. I'm really happy with how the gate came out. Let's switch you around here, and we will show you. So, I've got the mitered edges. They're not all perfect, but by and large, it's a lot smoother, a lot cleaner looking. I'm happy with how it turned out, as compared to the gate I did. What was it? 2 years ago, almost year and a half, probably. I guess when we were still at the lake house in that spring in 2021. So yeah, a year and a half thereabouts. Well, it's clunky, but it's effective. But it was also a lot harder to get to swing properly and everything. Despite all my measurements, I wasn't as good at it. So it is, come a long way since then. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade that to something that looks more like this. But for now, I've got the 2 gates, so that when I run the wall, probably from here, because that'll give us a decent amount of space for the amount of roosters we have. And got to move the nesting boxes and get more chains and stuff hung for the ceiling for the feeders, and build some more platform for the waterers too, and then get some actual bedding and hay back in here. I get the whole place cleaned up. That'll be so much nicer. Whew. I'm yawning. I'm tired. So anyway, that's a good chunk of the work done, and we're near the final stretch of stage 1. And yeah, so I think one more day of hard work, then it's just shifting little things around like that. And yeah, I'm happy with how it's going. All right, so I will see you tomorrow.